Okay, so you know that feeling, right? You've booked the flights, the itinerary is set, you're practically tasting those amazing street tacos.
Yeah.
But then you remember
Yeah.
you actually have to book the hotel.
Yes.
And not just book it, but like have a whole conversation about it in English.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. It can be a little nerve-wracking.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm pumped for this deep dive. You sent over this awesome guide, English conversation regarding booking a room at a hotel. I mean, the title says it all.
Yeah, it's a great starting point. It's got all the essential phrases and vocabulary.
Totally. But we're going beyond the basics, right?
Okay.
Like how to not just book a room, but actually, like, nail it, you know?
Absolutely. We're talking strategy confidence.
Oh, I like where this is going.
Think of it like hotel booking 201. We're going to level up your skills.
All right, Professor. Let's do this.
Well-
Where do we start?
So the guide stresses clear and polite communication, which is huge. But honestly, confidence is just as important.
Really?
Oh yeah, even if your English isn't perfect, just owning your request makes a difference.
So it's not about being perfectly fluent.
Nope, it's about being clear and confident. Like, you know what you want and you're not afraid to ask for it.
I could dig that. So no more stressing about grammar.
Exactly. Just focus on getting your message across clearly and politely.
Got it. So like, what would a good opening line be?
Something simple and direct. Like, good morning. I'd like to inquire about a double room from July 24th to the 27th.
Boom, straight to the point.
Exactly. No time for small talk when you've got vacation on the brain.
So true. Okay, but what about all the nitty-gritty detail?
Like Wi-Fi and adapters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you even ask about that stuff without sounding clueless?
That is where the magic of asking the right questions comes in.
Ooh, tell me more.
Don't be afraid to dig deep. Think of it like a polite interrogation.
I like that. So instead of just asking, do you have Wi-Fi?
Which, yeah, is a fair question, but it doesn't give you the full picture.
Right, so what should I be asking?
Try something like, is the Wi-Fi complimentary for all guests, and is it reliable enough for video calls?
Ooh, that's smart.
Right, because who wants to be stuck with spotty internet on their trip?
It's the worst. I actually had that happen once in Paris. The Wi-Fi was basically unusable.
Oh, no.
I ended up having to use my phone's data the whole time, and it cost me a fortune.
See? That's why those detailed questions are so key. They can save you so much hassle and money.
Totally. Okay, so Wi-Fi outlets. What else should be on my interrogation list?
Well, think about the things that matter most to you. Are you a light sleeper? Do you want to be close to the action or tucked away in a quiet spot?
I'm definitely a peace and quiet kind of traveler.
Okay. So you could ask about noise levels, or request a room away from the elevator or the street.
So like, is this room on a busy street, or could I request a room away from the elevator?
Exactly. And remember that politeness goes a long way. A simple, would it be possible to, can work wonders.
It's easy to forget those niceties when you're focused on getting the info.
I know, but trust me, those pleases and thank yous make a difference.
Right, manners matter.
Got it.
And remember, most hotels really do want their guests to have a good experience. That's true.
So don't hesitate to politely ask for what you need.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident already. So I got my list of questions ready. What's next on the road to hotel booking mastery? Okay, so let's say I've grilled them with all my questions. I've got the intel.
Nice.
But the guide mentions confirming everything before you hang up. And I'll be honest, I always feel a little awkward repeating everything back. Like they literally just told me all this stuff.
I know what you mean. It can feel a little redundant, but trust me, it's worth it.
Really?
Oh yeah, think about it. You're summarizing the key details. The dates, the room, type the rate,
Yeah.
any special requests.
Right.
It prevents misunderstandings, and it shows that you're paying attention, you know?
Okay, that makes sense. It's
Yeah.
like a verbal contract.
Exactly. And speaking of contracts, what about the fine print? You know, those terms and conditions that we all just scroll past?
Ugh, don't even get me started. They're so long and boring.
I know, but understanding that cancellation policy is crucial.
Especially if like your flight gets canceled or something.
Exactly. Life happens. Plans change.
Tell me about it. I once booked a non-refundable room, thinking I was getting a steal. And then my flight got canceled because of a snowstorm.
Oh no.
I ended up losing like hundreds of dollars.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a tough lesson to learn.
For sure. So how do I avoid that heartbreak?
Well, the guide actually has some good phrases for this, like, what is your policy if I need to modify or cancel my reservation?
Right.
Or you can ask about specific scenarios, like, what happens if my flight is delayed?
That's smart. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of being prepared, let's talk about the total cost.
Right, because sometimes what looks like a good deal can turn out to be way more expensive once you factor in all those extra fees.
Exactly. You got to make sure you clarify what's included in the quoted price.
Like breakfast or Wi-Fi.
Exactly. Don't just assume those things are automatically included.
And what about those resort fees? Are those like a thing?
Oh, yeah. Those are mandatory charges that some hotels add on top of the room rate.
So they're not included in the initial price.
Nope. They're usually listed separately, and they can be pretty hefty.
Sneaky. So how do I find out about these resort fees before I get hit with a surprise bill at checkout?
Just ask. Be upfront and say something like, are there any additional resort fees or taxes I should be aware of?
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So we've covered asking questions, confirming everything, reading the fine print, and understanding the total cost. Anything else I should have on my radar?
Well, once you've got all the details ironed out, there's one more step, getting written confirmation.
Right, the guide mentions that. But I've definitely skipped this step in the past. I figured if they told me everything over the phone, that's good enough.
I get it, but having written confirmation, whether it's an email or a text message, is super important.
Really?
It serves as a record of your booking details, and it protects you in case of any discrepancies later on.
So it's like a safety net?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, just in case something goes wrong.
Okay, so how do I ask for this without sounding like I don't trust them?
Keep it simple. You could say something like, could you please email me a confirmation of my booking? Okay.
Or would it be possible to send me a text message with the details?
Easy peasy. And then I can relax knowing I have everything in writing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all about being proactive and having that peace of mind.
You know, it's crazy how much I've learned about booking hotels just from this deep dive.
Right.
Like, I thought I was a seasoned traveler, but clearly I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Well, it's not about being right or wrong. It's more about being informed and, looking out for yourself.
That's true. But speaking of doing it wrong, remember how the guide mentioned common mistakes travelers make?
Oh, yeah?
I'm kind of curious, like, what are some of those blunders that we should try to avoid?
Well, aside from the ones we've talked about, like not reading the fine print or assuming things are included,
Right.
one big one is not factoring in cultural differences.
Ooh. Interesting. So it's not just about the language.
Nope. It's about understanding the local customs, too.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, for example, in some cultures, it's considered rude to arrive early for check-in.
Yeah. Or the concept of breakfast might be totally different.
Yeah.
You know? What you might think of as a continental breakfast in one place could be a huge buffet in another.
Wow, I hadn't thought about that. So I guess doing a little research about the destination's customs before you even book could be helpful.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about being aware of those nuances and adjusting your expectations.
Makes sense. It's like that saying, when in Rome.
Exactly. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. But in this case, it's when booking a hotel in a new place, be aware of the local customs.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered communication, being prepared, cultural awareness. What would you say is like the biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think the most important thing is that you have the power to shape your travel experience. You know, it's not just about showing up and hoping for the best.
It's about being in control.
Exactly. It's about being an active participant in the process, doing your research,
Right.
asking questions,
Yeah.
and advocating for your needs.
Well said. So to all our listeners out there getting ready to book their next adventure, remember, you got this. Armed with clear communication, a few smart questions, and a dash of cultural savvy, you can book your next hotel like a pro.
And who knows, you might even impress the front desk staff with your newfound skills. Happy travels.